Grasp of Avarice has some amazing weapons from Destiny 1, high stat Thorn Armor, and even Gjallarhorn. So in this video, I'll go over how you can beat this dungeon completely solo. I will also give tips for staying alive throughout the dungeon so you can get flawless and unlock this amazing pirate themed emblem and this brand new shader. If you're new to the channel, I'm Marshix and I make Destiny 2 guides for solo players. If you find this guide helpful, all I ask is that you leave a like on the video. Before you start, I recommend wearing protective light if you have it, as well as concussive dampener to help keep you alive throughout the entire dungeon. Also, I will only use weapons that anyone can easily have access to or are easily interchangeable with other weapons. Your loadout won't matter too much until you get to the first boss fight, so use anything you want. But you will want to have something solar to deal with solar shielded wizards. I started with Cartesian Coordinate, Sleeper Simulant, and Night Watch. This Night Watch is given to you during the New Light campaign. Cartesian Coordinate can be focused in the Season of the Splicer Umbral Engrams, and Sleeper Simulant comes from the exotic kiosk in the tower. And you can make Sleeper even better if you get the Catalyst. Make sure you stick around to the end and I'll show you how to get the Catalyst. If you're looking for a good replacement for Cartesian, you can always use the Null Composure, which comes from a quest from the Gunsmith. To go along with our already great fusion rifles, we also have Particle Deconstruction to make them deal even more damage. You'll start in the Cosmodrome. You'll need to enter the Loot Cave and open up an entrance to the underground. If you go inside the cave, you'll notice a white crystal. Every enemy in this area will drop an exotic engram. You'll need to continuously kill enemies and grab those exotic engrams. Unfortunately, these aren't real exotics. Instead, when you pick one up, you'll be given a 30-second timer called Burdened by Riches. When the timer reaches 0, you die. Whenever you pick up a new exotic, the timer will refresh to 30 seconds. If you stand near that crystal in the cave, your stacks of Burdened by Riches will slowly go away. As you get rid of stacks, the crystal will grow larger. So all you need to do is gather 50 of those engrams and let the crystal consume them. After all 50 are used, the ground will open up and you can continue on to the next part. Before you move on, make sure all of your stacks are depleted to avoid dying. Follow the path down until you get to this room with a bunch of signs on the wall. There are going to be a lot of traps in this section, so keep an eye out for the pressure plates and don't activate any doors or switches besides the ones I tell you to. The first thing you want to do is go through the second door on the right. There's a pressure plate here, so jump on the desk to the side and move to the end and activate that console. Go back out the way you came and go through the big door. Jump across and try and be fast because the platforms in the middle will try and open up under you. Don't activate this first console that you see. Look behind you and under those falling platforms, there's a small room with another console to activate. Then just jump back the way you entered. Back outside, you'll be able to jump up and into one of the tunnels on the sides. The correct one is in the far right. Go in, step on the button, and the ceiling will open up. Be careful going through this next hallway because there's still a couple of traps. This next room will have you activating more of those consoles. Start by going in the left side. There's a trap in here, so watch your step if you do take the staircase. Clear the enemies and activate the panel. Go back out and you'll see a hatch open on the right side. Go through there, clear the ads, and activate that panel. Go through the far exit and jump across to the other side. Do not activate the first panel you see. This will trap you inside. Instead, jump up the ceiling and activate the one above. After that, jump back down and across. Deactivate the panel in the second room and head back to the wall that opened up with enemies. Kill everything around there and interact with that panel. This will open the final door across, so just jump through and clear those enemies. You will be presented with two doors. You want to go through the one on the back wall and not the one on the left. The next room will be a large circle with each side being numbered 1 through 4. You'll need to clear all of the enemies and activate the panels. The order you need to activate them is 1, 3, 1, 2. At 2, there will be a Vandal with a Scorch Cannon. Kill him to get it to drop. You need to then take this to number 4 and shoot the device with it. Shoot it directly in the middle with the Scorch Cannon and hold down the trigger until it clicks twice. The door will not open if it's anything less than the maximum damage. Before you leave, there's a secret chest. Look at the number 3 and turn to the right. Jump up to this platform and grab your loot. Before you run in, this is a trap. As you're walking up, there will be a barrel fall down and try and kill you. You need to duck into one of the side compartments to avoid getting squashed. There's only one barrel, so once it passes, you're safe to continue through the path. When you get to this room, do not go through the door. This will once again be a trap. Instead, turn around and go up the boxes into the ceiling. Continue on until you reach this open room with a giant ogre. This is the first boss fight. I was using that same loadout as before, but looking back at it, I would probably change the Night Watch to either an SMG or a hand cannon for closer ranged combat. Warlocks will want Well of Radiance, Hunters will want your preferred Invis, and Titans will want either a bubble for extra safety, or Thunder Crash for some extra boss damage, and a way to get out of some sticky situations. Also, make sure you have either Void Resistance for the boss's eye attack, or Solar Resistance to stop the Knights and Acolytes from killing you with grenades. The way this encounter works is similar to the first section with exotic engrams. As you jump across, take note of the crystal in the middle. Start by heading up to the right side and hiding behind cover. Always try to avoid line of sight with the boss because he will melt you. Next, kill the Scorch Cannon Vandal in the back. Grab that Scorch Cannon and shoot the same device as before above the set of closed doors. They alternate back and forth, but you can tell which one you need to shoot by the white lights inside and around the center. Once you open a side, there will be a lot of Acolytes and Knights that spawn. Try to kill these as fast as possible and pick up the engrams they drop. Don't be afraid to use your super to stay alive, and feel free to use special ammo to melt Acolytes and Knights. There will be a maximum of 14 engrams per room. Take these down to the crystal at the bottom of the room where you entered. Crouch behind the crystal to lose line of sight with the boss. It also helps to drop a healing rift or barricade at the crystal, or go invis and stay crouched behind it. Whenever you do stand next to the crystal, keep an eye out for Thrall on the left and right. If they decide to rush you, just throw a grenade down and let them run into it. Let your burden debuff run out and you'll need to get a second set. Grab another Scorch Cannon if yours despawned and open up the second set of doors. To get to damage phase, you'll need 28 engrams, so just go back and forth between the side rooms until you deposit enough. Once damage phase starts, throw down your super and go all out on the boss. Start with Cartesian to get full stacks of particle deconstruction on, and then swap to Sleeper to get some insane damage. The boss will try to walk as close as he can to you and push you off the map. I first tried setting up on the crystal and it did end up working out, but I found that setting up next to a box on one of the sides is a bit safer. After damaging him as much as possible, you should get him to a little bit above half health. From here, it's just rinse and repeat. Grab another Scorch Cannon, open the doors, grab engrams, and deposit them. Do that for about 3 phases and the boss should die. Make sure you grab your loot in the middle before continuing. The path from here is pretty straightforward until you reach this dark room. There are 2 switches that you can pull. The one on the right kills you. The one on the left opens the door. Activate the one on the left and hop on your Sparrow. You will notice immediately that there's a bomb that you need to defuse. You need to hurry to it before it explodes. You can reach these within the time limit. However, around the map, there are a lot of these red buttons. If you drive close to one, it will activate and give you additional time to reach the bomb. These are not very hard to spot, so if you see one and it's nearby, you may consider driving to it to give you a little bit more room to breathe. They tend to be on the left and right paths, so pick a side and you're likely to run into a button. As long as you activate one button per bomb, you shouldn't have any problems. And yes, there are multiple bombs. There are 4 total. So just go from one bomb to another and try to hit at least one button along the way. The 4th and final bomb will be inside the massive skull. You can go ahead and jump off your Sparrow, defuse the bomb, and look towards the blue crystals in the back. Jump up the way I'm going to get into the left eyeball of the skull to claim your loot for this encounter. You can then go back down and into that hole. Follow the path straight down until you reach the Sunken lair. This encounter is honestly unlike anything else in Destiny. You will need to get Scorch Cannons to activate gravity lifts that take you from one area to the next. You can adjust the direction of the gravity lift by interacting with it. You may be able to see a shielded servitor in the distance at one of the areas. If you do see one, head to that side. If you don't see one, just travel from side to side until you eventually find it. When you get to that side, you will need to find a room with one of those white crystals in it. All of the enemies on that side, minus the Scorch Cannon Vandals, will drop exotic engrams. Grab as many as you can and take them to the crystal. These crystals will need about 30 stacks of burden to lower the shield of the servitor. So once you gather that many and lower the shield, kill everything around the servitor first, then kill the servitor. It will fall into the ground and you'll need to push it into one of the gravity lifts. Make sure the cannon is lined up with the center so it can shoot the servitor into the orange circle on the center structure. Grab a Scorch Cannon if you didn't already have one and shoot the generator on the side. If you have a hard time finding it, follow the orange wire. Just find where the current servitor is, lower its shield, and yeet it into the middle. You don't need to save your super or heavy ammo for anything special in this section, so feel free to use it on anything you want. After you've done that a total of 4 times, all the gravity lifts will automatically face the center and you can send yourself to the island in the middle. Go up the first set of stairs to get your loot. You will then need one last Scorch Cannon to move on from this section, so kill the Vandal here if you left yours behind. Take the center gravity lift directly up and into the ceiling. This will lead you directly to the final boss encounter. If you are finding this guide helpful, please help me out by leaving a like on the video. Here, you will definitely want a good medium to short range primary weapon, Cartesian coordinate once again, and also sleeper simulant. For my primary, I was using Fatebringer, and I know not everyone has access to that, so instead I would recommend the Extraordinary Rendition SMG from Season of the Chosen Umbral Engrams. Well of Radiance for Warlocks, Invisibility for Hunters, and Bubble for Titans. You're also going to be burning through ammo in this fight, so make sure you have Finders and Scavenger perks on your armor for your fusions. On top of that, you'll want arc resistance on your chest piece, because almost everything in this room will constantly be hitting you with arc damage. I played around with many loadouts, and every time I came back to this, because while things like Risk Runner are great at clearing adds and keeping you alive, nothing compares to the damage output of fusions. Everything I tested was going to be 5 damage phases or more, and well, fusions made it an easy 3 and almost 2 phase. So this boss fight is going to be a marathon, not a sprint. It took me about 25 minutes to actually kill the boss, but once you get a feel for everything, it's not really difficult, just time consuming. The boss is going to be walking around the middle section. He will be accompanied by a yellow bar Shank and a yellow bar Vandal. While these are alive, the boss will throw out mines that slow you. They also have a ton of health, so it's best to go ahead and use anything you need to take them out. Each one will take about 5 sleeper shots with particle deconstruction. Yes, that's a lot, but we will have plenty of time to grab ammo. I also started using my super to easily take out the Vandal, since there's plenty of time to get your super back as well. Around the arena, there will be lots of dregs that constantly spawn, as well as one Scorch Cannon Vandal. You'll need to kill that Vandal and use the Scorch Cannon on the generator on the left side first. The generators are located halfway up the left and right sides of the ring in the middle. Let your cannon charge up to 3 ticks and let it go. Engrams will begin to fall from the sky, and it's your job to collect as many as possible. They spawn around the edges of the map, so try and run around and grab about 20. If you see any of them in or near the water, don't go near it. For whatever reason, Bungie decided all of the water in this room can instantly kill you if you get close. So try to grab 20 of these and take them to the center crystal and let them drain. Just like the Ogre fight, try to hide behind the crystal to avoid the boss and drop a rift or barricade if possible. This crystal will require about 60 engrams to lower the boss's shield. That is why it takes so long. So let those drain and then move on to the next side. Make sure a good chunk of the enemies on that side and the bottom section are dead, then use your Scorch Cannon to spawn even more engrams. Once again, try to grab around 20, then take them to the middle. Do this over and over until you completely fill the crystal. Once you do fill it, the boss will teleport to the top of the stairs and you can damage him. Drop well or bubble right where you are to keep you safe. Hunters will want to damage from behind one of the crystals in mid, and go invisible if you take too much damage. Just like before, use Cartesian to get full stacks of particle deconstruction on, then pull out Sleeper and get over 120,000 per shot to the head. Continue damaging as much as you can before his shield returns. I was able to get him to just above half health using 7 Cartesian shots and 12 Sleeper shots. He will once again go immune, and you'll have to collect engrams to lower his shield. The yellow bars will return, so try to find ammo around the room to take them out quickly. From here, it's just the same thing. Take out the yellow bars, get a Scorch Cannon, and go back and forth spawning engrams and depositing them in the middle. Take your time in between phases to get your supercharged and get full ammo. After 3 phases, you should be able to finish them off. A chest will spawn in the middle to give you your loot, and you'll unlock your emblem and shader from your triumphs. If this is your first time completing it, you'll also unlock the Gjallarhorn. If you're interested in how to get the Gjallarhorn catalyst or any other catalyst in the game, check out this video when it releases on Saturday. Thanks for watching, I'm Marshix, and I'll see you next time.